Hey. Oh my gosh, this is a little bit high up, isn't it? Right, let's turn that light down. It is very, very bright. So, back for live at lunch this week, and I want to talk to you about what I really love talking about, and that is Facebook events. So, if you are joining me, do say hello, pop on, tell me you're watching, send me up some love hearts, send me some thumbs up, send me an angry face, I don't mind, just send me a sign that you're watching. I know that it doesn't always tell you that I've gone live, so if you do see the notification, be sure to come on in. Hi Dawn, nice to see you, my lovely. So yeah, do send me a sign that you're here, because it's really good to know that people are watching. I've just seen Dawn's there, so hello Dawn, thank you for sending me a sign to let me know you're here. It means also if you're sending up saying hello, and if you're sending thumbs up and things like that, it does mean the notifications will go out quicker for others. And they'll be able to see that I've gone live as well, and also Reggie will be able to get comfortable and listen to what I'm going to chat about. So Dawn is now an expert at Facebook Lives, so she'll be able to chip in as well and tell me her thoughts on Facebook Live and her experience. Hi Jenny, lovely to see you. So then let's just check what's going on, see if I can see any comments coming up. Yes, I can see them on the screen as well. So I'm going to talk to you today about 3 reasons I think you should be looking at using Facebook events in your sales and marketing. Okay, so there's sometimes quite a bit of resistance. Dawn's put a laughing face. I don't know what the laughing face is all about. Is it because I called you an expert? Because she is now. So 3 reasons why I think you should be looking at it, including Facebook events for your sales and marketing. Okay, so these are my 3 top reasons. I've got a whole host of reasons, but these are my top 3 at the moment that I want to share with you to get you thinking about how you can actually be using Facebook events now in your business. I'm not saying you don't do face-to-face events. I'm saying this is a way for you to combine the both. So, okay, my number 1 reason for using Facebook event, yes, your initial resistance to using Facebook events and lives was very funny, Dawn, but you're over that now and you host some fabulous and very successful events. So the number 1 reason that I like to use Facebook events, and what I share with people like Dawn, Margaret, Joe, Michelle, Louisa, a whole host. I've got to stop because I won't remember everybody, and then they'll be upset if I don't mention them. But the number 1 reason is you can control who your audience is. Okay, so if you think about Facebook event, you are in control of who sees what you are doing. By that I mean, if you were, for instance, going to a face-to-face event, you don't know who's going to show up to that event. You don't know who is going to come along to that event. You're leaving your business in the hands of the people who are marketing that event and hoping that they're doing a great job. Hi Kirsty, lovely to see you. So, you know, you don't know who's going to be turning up, and also you don't actually know if it's your dream customers who are going to be coming along. It might be that you've booked into an event where they say the footfall is going to be like 50,000 people, which is fantastic. That's a phenomenal number. But we have to think, are those 50,000 people actually going to be your dream customers? And I often tell this story of me going and doing an event at RAF Cosford and thinking, wow, this is going to be an amazing event. The footfall predicted was in the hundreds of thousands of people going to be there, and you know, it was going to be a phenomenal time, and I thought, this is brilliant, I'm going to make lots of sales. But it wasn't the case, because I think on that day I sold £20. I sold 1 pair of earrings for £20. Okay, so when you think I'd stood there all day, I'd gone to the craft fair and everything else that was going on at Cosford to earn £20, that didn't even cover the cost of the store. So The point was they were the wrong type of customers. They were families out for a day out. They weren't people looking to invest in quality handcrafted items. They were just looking for a fun time out. So obviously I was way out of their price bracket with my least expensive item being £20. Okay, so you can control your audience because you're asking people, you know, who are going to be, who are going to be coming along because you know they're interested in your products. Yes, they were only interested in the planes and interested in giving the kids 50p to spend on, you know, the stores, on sweets and things like that. They weren't interested in buying handcrafted items, okay? So yeah, you can control the type of person who is coming to your event, and you will know then that they are the right kind of people to be buying from them. Okay, so that's the number one reason, you know, you're in control of your audience and who is coming along to your event. So the second reason I think you should consider hosting Facebook events is you don't need to make masses of stock. Okay, so typically if you're going to do an event of any type, whether it's a craft fair, whether it's a market, whether it's a face-to-face event. Hi Louisa, lovely to see you. Louisa's another expert at doing Facebook events now as well. You don't need those masses of stock. Okay, and usually we make, say for instance, I made once loads of earrings because I thought the earrings were going to sell well because, you know, they're £20, they'll sell really, really well. And I made absolute ton of them. And actually what sold really well were the necklaces, and I didn't make as many of those. So we make masses of stock, but we can't predict what's going to sell the best. Okay, so the reason for hosting a Facebook event is you don't need masses of stock. It's really simple. You only create what you need to create and nothing more. Okay, so you're not left with a pile of stock and thinking, gosh, where on earth I'm going to house this until the next event. And then at the next event, you'll be thinking, well, I want to do something different, so I want to create new stuff. So you'll create new stock for that, because we all do it, let's admit it. So you've got this pile of stock hanging around you, and all the time you're looking at the stock thinking, I've got to shift that, I've got to shift that. I hope this goes at the next event. I hope I can sell that. Okay, so a great reason for hosting a Facebook event is you don't need a ton of stock. You do not need a shed full. You don't need a carload, nothing like that. Just keep it nice and simple, and you're actually making to order. Okay, so that makes your life a lot simpler, and it's more efficient for your business because you're not buying more and more materials and not then being able to sell it on. Okay, so that's another great reason for you to be hosting a Facebook event. Okay, and my third reason, and I think this is really, really valid in, today, particularly in the climate we're in at the moment, my third reason is obviously the price of living is going up. Okay, petrol costs to get to face-to-face events, okay, it's getting more and more expensive to drive around in our cars. Diesel's gone up, petrol's gone up. It's a cold hard fact. Obviously organisers are going to be having to put their prices up because they're going to have to pay for the building that they're hiring, and their prices will have gone up. So there's a real knock-on effect, okay? Whereas, you know, a serious consideration is to host a Facebook event, because what is easier and simpler and more cost effective than sitting on your backside at home and hosting your own Facebook event and making sales? Okay, Dawn will tell you. Dawn messaged me with a classic about, you know, she'd earned so much money from her Facebook event and all that while sat on her backside at a kitchen table. And literally it is that simple. You can be at home and you can be making your sales without having to, you know, spend money on filling the car up, you know, travelling 20 odd miles, setting your stall up, paying to be there at that store, and then trying to, you know, recuperate those costs that you've had to invest in your face-to-face event. So a really, you know, a good valid reason at the moment that I think hosting a Facebook event is a good idea for you is that you can really be looking at keeping your costs as low as possible. Now, I'm not saying don't do Facebook events, because another bonus reason for doing a Facebook event is it's a great way of linking everybody that you've met up at all the different events you've done face to face and bringing them online together for an experience. Okay, so you're bringing your whole community together and they can see you and they can be looking at the work you're doing, and it's a great way to keep in touch. Say for instance you do an event, I don't know, I'm going to say near me in Stafford twice a year, but between those two events you don't see the people normally. Okay, so by actually bringing them in between those two events to an online event, you've still got that contact point. You're still keeping people in your world, you're showing them what you're doing, it's all still relevant. So it's really important way of keeping your marketing going, not just your sales. It's a great way of marketing your product still, keeping in the front of the minds of your customers so they're not going to forget you in between those two events, and it's a great way of bringing in those extra sales. Okay, so those are my top 3 reasons that I think you should be hosting an event. You can control your audience, you don't need masses of stock, and literally you can be doing everything as cheaply as possible from the comfort of your own home, and saving you time and, more importantly, lots of money by doing them this way. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about Facebook events at all who's watching? I know Louisa and Dawn are on and they're experts, so they probably don't have a question, but if you are watching this on the replay and you do have questions, pop it into the comments, and I'd love to hear from you. And Dawn and Louisa will say that they've made successful sales from their Facebook events, and it saved them both time and money as well. So if you are interested in using Facebook events, let me know and I will send you the link to the program that I run. I've got a very low cost introduction to Facebook events. It's just £47 and it will get you started with all you need to do. So it's a nice simple way of getting started with those Facebook events. It's a standalone program, so you're not in a group with me, but you will get the basics so you can get started if it is something that you're interested in. I will put the link so that you can see all the details and you can take a look at the program if that's something that you want to do. Right then, so that is my 3 reasons to host a Facebook event, especially now when it's all, you know, all up in the air, and the price of living at the moment is just rising and rising, and I don't want people to be stopping crafting, stopping selling, because they're saying, you know, it's getting too expensive to do. Lovely to see you. Yes, they've been very successful. They have been successful for you, yes, and I'm so pleased that they worked out so well for you. And it's lovely to see that you're taking all your fantastic skincare products out there as well. Obviously you're doing face to face, but you've also done the online one as well, and you can see the benefit of doing both and how you can combine it, which I think is a fantastic way of moving everything forward. So you've kind of got the best of both worlds then, kind of got the best of both. If you haven't got any questions, don't worry. If you think of something, you can always pop back on later and let me know. And I'll come back and answer them. If you give me a hashtag replay, I'll get the notification that you've commented, and I will come back and answer the questions as soon as possible. So Dawn says, events all the way for me now, all those reasons you give plus going into them with positivity, as not worried if they don't do as well as hoped. Yeah, that's another really valid point, Dawn. You're not investing lots of money in a physical event only to get there like I did and sell, say, £20 worth. You know, you've got that kind of added, well, it's going to work. Whatever I make is a plus because, I haven't had to invest in the travel time or the petrol time or the complete amount of stock that I've had to purchase and make and create, because you're literally doing everything from home at your kitchen table, and getting results and seeing results and bringing the leads and sales in. So yes, Dawn, I'm pleased to hear it's events for you all the way now. That's fantastic. And that makes me smile, because that's the whole reason I started doing this, was to show people an alternative way of doing things. It doesn't have to only be the online events. Obviously, there's a great opportunity to combine the two. But for me, it was all about showing people an alternative to what has been done before. The whole experience promotion does so much to raise your profile in the process. Yeah, absolutely. It's using the whole Facebook event for your marketing as well as your selling. You grow your audience. Absolutely, Louise, you raise your profile, your visibility increases, and people really get to know you, and then you can nurture that so that you're continually creating the leads and sales. Maybe from the first event you've done, you can still be nurturing those people sort of 6 months down the line, which is fantastic, and then they can be coming to your next event. And the beauty is, with physical events, you're reliant on the people actually saying, okay, this is when our event is, this is when our event, this is when our event is. With your own event, you're totally in control. You can say, right, I want one this month, I want one next month, I want one the month after, and then you can totally see how successful it is. And even if there are ups and downs and fluctuations, it doesn't matter, because you've not spent money out trying to host the event. So Dawn says, there's nothing worse than putting in days of time and effort and money into an in-person event for it to be a disappointment. It started to put me off selling, and that would mean people missing out on my glass. Totally, Dawn. We've all got such incredible talent, and if you're put off by doing face-to-face events because you're not making the money that you need to actually survive and thrive in business, then it does become disheartening. And this is a real quick win for your business. And it gets exciting because you can see it work, and you can see the sales building up. You can see that you're raising your visibility, and you can see that more and more people are getting, involved in what you're doing. You're growing your audience, and they're telling their friends about what you're doing, and they're coming to follow your page. And, that's the great thing. You don't need thousands and thousands of people following your page. You just need a select few of your dream customers to be there at your event, and it will make all the difference. So Dawn says she'll still do a few nice in-person events such as art trails, which are social as much as anything else, but not many. Absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. You can make the decision now to say, actually, I'm going to do these, but it's more for the social side, it's more for the networking than actually making the physical sales. And that's the good thing. You can be really selective about what you want to do. You can say to yourself, okay, so these 3 face-to-face events I am going to do because I know these are where, other makers that I like hang out, and I can see them. You can also, then pick those 3, and then you can work out your online Facebook event around those where you're going to be making more sales, and that'll be more beneficial to you. And like I say, you can bring those lovely people that you've met face to face over to your online ones, so it's winner chicken dinner. For me, there's no reason not to do a Facebook event. And if anybody's got any questions and you don't want to put them into the comments, just pop them over into the chat, and I'm always happy to chat and have a conversation. Dawn will tell you, when I first spoke to her, she was nervous about joining the Shooting Stars program with me. She was quite nervous because she thought she was going to have to do it a particular way, and I was like, no, we work in a way that suits you so that you're happy. So Dawn says, events have grown my sales enough to bring in ongoing sales in between 2 now. Yes, perfect. That is exactly what it's all about, and that's what I did for my business. I got to the stage where I was doing enough events then that in between the events I got sales coming in, because I was reminding people I was there, I was visible. And yes, people can come to your physical events and buy your stuff, but unless you're going to the same market each weekend or once a month, people aren't going to necessarily come back to you time and time again. And for instance, we've still got that bug going around, that keeps flooring people. Poor Dawn's got it now, or have you recovered now, Dawn? But it just means that if anything like that happens, there's no reason why you can't turn around your own event and get it done so you can get those sales in, so that you're not missing out. So you're not scratching your head thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to bring in those sales now? I really needed to do that. So that is why I think everybody should be looking at using Facebook events. You're clear again now. Fantastic. I'm so pleased to hear that. All right. Thank you for joining me. Dawn, Louisa, Jenny, I think there are a couple of others and I can't remember the name. I shouldn't list people's name, I should know that better by now, but thank you so much for joining me live and having lunch with me. I hope you've picked up some good tips, and if you haven't done a Facebook event before, or you haven't done one for a while, definitely think about getting the ball rolling and getting started with the events, because now is the perfect time to be doing it for your business, so that you can be making more money from your makes, because that is what it's all about. Okay, I will pop the details of the program into the comments. If anybody's got any questions, pop them in the comments or send me over an inbox message. That's what I was saying. So I had a chat with Dawn, and she was adamant she couldn't do it in a certain way, and we worked out how was going to be best for her, and in the end, blow me down, she went and did it the way we talked about in the first place. So hats off to Dawn for taking the plunge, and now there's no looking back, there's no stopping her. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for joining me, and I will speak to you all again very soon. Lots of love, and any questions, pop them into the group, and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.